Hey guys, my name is Nix and welcome to array destructuring video in PHP. So, what exactly is array destructuring? Array destructuring is basically a way to unpack array elements into distinct variables. So right on my screen we have an array of brands and we've got Apple, Dell and Lenovo. By the way, Lenovo is a very good product. At the moment, what we are doing is basically using these variables right here to destructure the elements. So for X, we have the first element because we have the index of 0 right here. Just as you know, PHP, like many other programming languages, counts from 0 instead of 1. So 0 represent Apple, 1 for Dell, and finally 2 for Lenovo. That's not Lenovo. I think I wrote Lenovo or something like that. Okay, so let me quickly correct it. Okay, I think it's looking good now. So there is nothing wrong with this code. It's just okay, but there is a way we can reduce the amount of code that we have in here, okay? And that's what we're going to be looking at in this video. But first, let's make sure that this is working. So I'm going to quickly print the first guy, which is X, and let's see what we have. So we have Apple. So what about the second guy? We have Dell, and finally, let's look at the third guy. So we have Lenovo. Alright, so good. So there are two ways to do array destructuring in PHP. The first way is to use the list construct, and the second way is to use the shorthand syntax or the symmetric syntax, okay? So first, the list construct. And the way we use the list construct, so we write list and then a pair of parentheses, and inside of these parentheses, we define our variables. So let's say X, Y, and Z. I mean, you can use anything. It doesn't have to be X, Y, and Z. It could be A, B, C. It could be anything you want, okay? And then we need to do some assignment here. We need to assign the brands, okay? And now we're good to go, okay? So if we print X, we should get the first element, Apple. There we have it. So now tell me, what do you think about this? This is very, very short and very clean. No, the way this works is that it has to be in order, right? So we have 3 elements in the brands array, and we have 3 variables defined inside the list language construct right here, okay? So X for Apple, Y for Dell, and Z for Lenovo, okay? Well, if you decide that you just want to get the fourth element, or maybe you're just interested in one element, of course you can do that as well. All you have to do is get rid of Y and Z, okay? And if we run this code, we still get Apple right here on our screen. And if you decide to skip the first and go to the second guy, all you have to do is put a comma right here, and then we're good to go. So if we run this code, we should get Dell instead of Apple. So what about the third guy? Of course, you can do the same. All you have to do is put another one here. And if we run this code, we should get Lenovo. So this is how we do array destructuring using the list constructs in PHP. So moving forward, we're going to be looking at how we can use the shorthand syntax or the symmetric syntax. So the way the shorthand syntax works is that instead of using the list and the pair of parentheses, all we have to do is to put a square bracket right here, okay? And now inside of the square brackets, we have to define our variables like we did before. So we could say x for Apple, y for Dell, and finally z for Lenovo, okay? And if we change that to y, we should get the second, which is Dell, okay? And of course, if we try x, we should get the first element, which is Apple, right there. So this is how we use the shorthand syntax or the symmetric syntax. Now, there is something you should know. The shorthand syntax is not going to work if you're not using the latest version of PHP. I mean, if you're not using PHP, I think version 7.1 and above. Okay. And another thing is that before PHP version 7, I believe, the list construct could only work with the indexed arrays, but now it supports the associative array. So you can always check to see the version of PHP that is installed on your server. Okay, this is very easy to do. All you have to do to know the version, you could use uh, the constant PHP underscore version, and this should just give you the version of PHP that is currently installed and enabled on your server. So as you can see, I have 7.4.8 right here, so that's why I could use all of these. Okay, and no problem. Okay, with that being said, let's see how we can work with associative arrays. So get rid of these guys. Okay, I'm going to define an array right here. I'm going to call it a person. If I can write person the right way, I think that would be great. So this person has a name, and the name of this person is Jane Doe. So now let's destructure with the list construct. Person, we terminate the statement, and inside our parentheses, all we need to do this time is to specify the key of the elements that we're interested in. So unlike the index array where it has to be in order, now it doesn't, because all we need to do is to put the key of the element that we are interested in. Okay, so let's try out name, and then we could use any variable name for this. I could say n for name. Okay, so let's quickly print that out to see what we've got. Of course, you can use the echo statement, so it doesn't have to be the print statement. Okay, so there we have Jane Doe on our screen, and if we change the key to age, of course, we will get 24. So this is how we use the list construct to destructure associative an associative array. Sorry about that. Okay, what about the shorthand syntax? Why not? All we have to do is put our square brackets right here, and inside our square brackets, we again write the key that we're interested in, and then we give it a name. So I could say A for age, and let's print it out to see. So there we have 24, and of course, if I change this to name, we get Jane Doe printed out for us. So there we have Jane Doe. Very easy, very simple, right? Now we've been doing this on a different line, and that doesn't mean that we cannot do this on the same line, but I'm just trying to keep things as clean as possible, as readable as possible, so that you can understand this very well. So we can actually do this on one line, okay? The way we do that, basically, we put our square brackets right here, okay? And inside of this place, I could say we just want to get the name. Okay, let's just get the age, okay, because we already have the name on the screen, so it doesn't confuse us. So I'm just gonna call it A, all right? Then we have to put equal sign right here. We're good. So if we print this now, we have 24 on our screen right here. So you could do this on a single line. So now let's look at how we can destructure a multi-dimensional array, basically a nested array. Okay, so when you have an array inside of another array, how can we destructure that? So I'm going to get rid of this. Let's stick to our person array. So we have name as Jane Doe, Jane of the Doe. And now we want to add contacts. No, that's better. So contacts is going to be an array, okay? Let me put this on another line to make it readable. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna move this forward. So right inside of this place, so let's say we have email. So she has an email address. You can contact her with the email address if you want to. So it's going to be jane@web.com. Okay. And let's say she also has a phone number. So let's say phone. Then the phone number is just, I don't know. I'm just going to put random number in here. So that's the phone number. Okay. This is missing here, right? So make sure you put that so you don't get an error. Okay, how can we destructure this in PHP? It's very simple. All we have to do, using the shorthand syntax, all we have to do is, okay, so we know that the contacts is a key in the person array, so we put that in here. Good. And now let's say we just want to get the email address, so we know that the email address is inside the contacts, which is an array inside the person array. So what we do is we put a square bracket right here. Inside of the square bracket, we get the email key, and now all we have to do is define our variable inside of this place. So I could call it E or anything you like. And now we assign the person array. Let's go ahead and print E, and let's see what we have. Good, so right there we have jane@web.com because that's the email address right there. And of course, if we change this to fun, we will get the number that we put in here. So this is how we destructure multi-dimensional array in PHP using the symmetric syntax, okay? So now that we've all seen how to do array destructuring in PHP, let's quickly look at a real-world example. So I'm going to create a very basic form right here, okay? I'm not going to start with the document and all of that, you know, the HTML tag. I'm just going to start with the form tag, okay? It's going to work fine, no problem. So right inside of here, I'm gonna impute. It's gonna be of type file. Then I'm gonna give it a name. I'm just gonna call it file. Then close it right here. Okay. Now we need a button for submission. So I'm just gonna put the HTML5 button. And I'm just gonna say submit. I think that's fine. So let's run this. Yeah, there we have our basic form. And okay, I need a method. And it's going to be of type post, and I need something else, the env type, because we are working with file, and this is very important that you put it. So it's going to be multi-part, if I can write that, /form, then dash or hyphen, then data. Okay, so let's quickly write PHP code. Okay, files, and then inside of the square bracket, I have to type in the name. And the name is the value of the name attribute right here. As you can see, recorded file. So that's the name that I'm passing here. So if that is true, if that is set, I'm just going to print on the screen using the print out function, because this is going to be an array. So that's why we're not going to use the print statement or the echo statement. So let's run this. Now we need to select a file. So I have this car image on my desktop. Let's click submit. Okay, there we have it. So we have an array of file, the file that we're trying to upload, and as you can see, we have the name car.jpg, and the type is image /jpg. This is the TMP name for uploading it if you want to. Of course, the error, we have no error, is 0, and the size is this number right here. Okay, so now let's apply what we've learned about array destructuring, and let's see how we can use array destructuring to destructure this array. I'm going to use the shorthand syntax. Then I think I copied it before, so let me paste it. Yeah. Now let's say I'm just interested in the name. All I have to do is to specify the key. Then I'm going to use, just call it name. I'm going to call the variable name, okay? So, and let's print that out on our screen. So let's run the code again. Whenever you modify the code, you have to run it from this place again. So let's select back the car image. So now we have car.jpg, and that is because we are just getting the name, okay? And if we should change this to type, let's just change the variable name as well. Type, and if we run this code, remember whenever you make changes to the code, you have to run it again. If we run this code, it's going to give us the file type, and then we have image. So I think, in my opinion, this is very clean, instead of having to start defining the variables like let's say name equals, and then you say file name, because this is how you would normally do it. You say name. Let me just give a space here so that you see it clearly. Let me actually comment this out. So I'm going to comment this out. So if we should print name right now, we just get the name. So let me Okay, select and let me submit. Of course, you have it. So if you want to get the type, and sometimes you want to get this like when you want to, do some validation to check the file type that the user is trying to upload to check the size and all of that. So instead of doing it this way, I think it's just cleaner to use any of the array destructuring methods, instead of doing this way. So if we print the type, of course we're gonna get the type. Let's run the code. Let's try it. Open, submit. There we have the type. Okay, so let's select the back again. Okay, let's actually print the size this time. So let's run the code. Whenever you make changes to the code, you will have to run it. So let's select back. Alright, so let's run it again, and now we have the size. So guys, that's it. I think this video is getting too long. If this video was helpful to you in any way, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel, okay? And if you have anything else that you want me to do a video for, please just leave a comment and I'll be very happy to honor that request, okay? Thank you very much. Share with your friends and subscribe to my channel.